This is the QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. I am Jacqueline Collier. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. The Ministry of Higher Education held the inaugural ceremony for the governing boards of the tripartite funds aimed at strengthening tertiary and higher education in the Gambia. Q Group CEO Mohamed Jah donated $15 million to the tripartite funds during the Ministry of Higher Education's inaugural ceremony for the governing boards. Gambia's Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Rohit John Manjang, took part in a high-level discussion with world leaders on protein diversification and global collaboration on the sidelines of COP30 in Belém, Brazil. In sports news, the Gambia secured a victory in karate to reach the round of 16 at the Islamic Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but was later eliminated due to an injury. Those were the headlines and other news in detail. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, MOHAS, held the inaugural ceremony for the governing boards of the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, and the National Research and Innovation Fund. Mamna Buka has more.
Approved by President Adama Barrow, the establishment of these governing boards, comprising experts from various sectors, will oversee resource management and ensure transparency, accountability, and effective implementation of initiatives to advance education in the Gambia. Dr. Sambaba, Executive Director, and Ernest Ruben Obi, Chairperson of the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, respectively outlined their plans for managing the responsibilities entrusted to them.
Over the next few months, our focus will be on institutional building, strengthening governance, developing operational manuals, recruiting key staff, and laying down the systems that will guarantee financial integrity and sustainability.
We will ensure that the objectives of the Act are achieved and the skilled manpower produced will lead to the transformation of the Gambian economy and improve livelihoods for all Gambians and people living within the boundaries of this great country.
Momodu Sala, Executive Director, and Ibrahima Sal, Chairperson of the National Research and Innovation Fund, shared their perspectives on the importance of the initiative.
I am really hopeful that in terms of agriculture, housing, in terms of health, food and technologies, we will develop an ecosystem, an infrastructure that is fit for purpose, that is decolonized, that is liberated, and that must add to the development of our people.
The development of every country should be led by the people of that country. So therefore, investing in enhancing the capacity to understand what the opportunities are, what the challenges are, what the risks are, is extremely important.
Mohamed Jah, CEO of Q Group, and Dr. Jojo Ndur Tambedu, Executive Director of the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, expressed optimism about fulfilling their roles.
Let us commit to excellence, accountability and service, not only to our institutions, but the people whose lives this fund will touch.
Indeed, when we empower one young person, we strengthen an entire family. We empower entire communities. And when we create opportunities here at home, we build a Gambia where no one feels compelled to live in search of dignity.
Here is Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology.
You have been chosen not for a title, but for a task. You are the guardians of these national assets. I charge you to be bold in your thinking, prudent in your management, and unwavering in your integrity.
The inauguration of these governing boards marks a significant step towards strengthening the Gambia's higher education, research and innovation sectors, promising transparency, accountability, and impactful implementation of critical initiatives. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
During Muhar's inaugural ceremony for the governing boards of the tripartite funds, Q Group CEO Mohamed Jah donated $15 million to the initiative and urged nationwide participation in national development. Mam Nabuka again.
I will instruct the Quantum Net Institute of Technology to donate $5 million to the research fund. I will also commit Ajib Bank to donate $5 million to the revolving fund. Ask QCell to donate $5 million to our fund.
The $15 million donation, contributed by Q Group companies QCell, Ajib Bank, and Quest Institute of Technology, will support the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, and National Research and Innovation Fund, aiming to strengthen the Gambia's tertiary education sector. Mohamed Jah, the CEO of Q Group and newly appointed chairperson of the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, called on the private sector, government agencies, and civil society to actively engage in initiatives supporting the nation's development goals.
This is a token to demonstrate that we will not rely solely on the government. I encourage everyone who can to contribute to any of the funds, whether it is $10 or $1 million. It is time to prioritize local investment rather than depending on external donors. Every contribution, no matter the size, will ultimately benefit our nation and our children.
Mr. Jah also highlighted the vital role of education and research in shaping the nation's future and emphasized the importance of investing in the youth.
In different areas.
The achievements of Q Group in the Gambia demonstrate the potential of Gambians, especially our youth, to build successful businesses and contribute meaningfully to the nation's economy when given the opportunity. We must focus on creating avenues that allow them to complete their education and thrive in the workforce. I therefore urge everyone to prioritize these funds and give our youth a real chance.
Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, praised the Q Group CEO for his contributions and commitment.
Thank you for really taking that huge amount to support the Republic, to support the Gambia, to support the nation, to support the youths of this country, to now take part in this system of containment, to engage the youths, to understand, as you said, Sunyo Boss, that here in the Gambia, in our own backyards, we sit down and build a better tomorrow.
With the establishment of the tripartite funds governing boards, Mohamed Jah's generous donation and call for nationwide participation highlight the importance of collective effort in strengthening the Gambia's education and research sectors to nurture a skilled, homegrown, innovative workforce to meet the nation's development priorities. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
On the sidelines of COP30 in Belém, Brazil, Gambia's Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Rohijon Manjang, participated in a high-level discussion with world leaders on protein diversification and global collaboration. Julden Jai reports from Brazil.
At the heart of the Amazon, Gambia's Environment Minister is making a strong case for food and climate justice. She emphasized that the Gambia's fight against malnutrition is closely linked to the impacts of climate change, describing the two as a dual challenge the country confronts daily. Nearly 1 in 5 Gambian children under 5 is stunted, while nearly a third of households are food insecure, a crisis worsened by erratic rainfall and warming seas that threaten traditional protein sources. To tackle these challenges, Minister Manjang outlined a 3-pillar strategy focused on empowering local food systems, promoting climate-resilient protein production, and ensuring a just transition for smallholder farmers.
Gambia, almost more than 70% of our women and young people are farmers. And they rely on the farming industry for their livelihood. But again, we have to make sure that we balance the impact of climate change. So therefore, their interest needs to be factored as we move forward in terms of building our resilience. A global shift in protein consumption must not undermine their livelihoods. A just transition in food system must also be gender responsive and be inclusive, ensuring that every rural producer benefits from this change.
By 2026, half of all school meals in the Gambia are expected to be sourced from local farmer cooperatives, a move designed to improve nutrition, boost local incomes, and promote plant-based proteins like beans, groundnuts, and cowpeas. Minister Manjang highlighted efforts to boost protein diversity through aquaculture and poultry farming, stressing the key role of women and youth in driving this change. Meanwhile, the minister also attended a high-level session on preserving culture and heritage amidst the climate crisis. The Minister of Environment says that in the Gambia, the fight against climate change is also a fight for identity. She emphasizes that protecting the nation's culture, sacred landscapes, and ancestral wisdom lies at the heart of climate resilience because these living traditions are the heartbeat of the country's strength and hope for the future. Reporting for QTV News from Belém, Brazil, I am Julde Njai.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
It's time to celebrate women who lead, innovate, inspire, and empower. Join us for the GWCC Women in Business Forum and Awards Ceremony, prestigious evening, proudly organized by the Gambia Women's Chamber of Commerce, GWCC, honoring resilience, excellence, and leadership in business. The theme for this year is For All Women and Girls, Rights, Equality, and Empowerment. On that day, GWCC will give awards in the following categories: Women in STEM of the Year, Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Regional Women Agropreneur of the Year, Women in the Catering of the Year, Women in Green Business of the Year, and Lifetime Achievement Award. Be inspired, celebrate success, support women in business. Tables and tickets are available for sales. Linger table, $50,000. Garmi table, $40,000. Taru, $30,000. Jigeen Jambar individual tickets, $2,000. Mark the date, Friday, 28 November 2025. Time, 7 p.m. onwards. Venue, Sir Dauda Kairaba Jawara Conference Center. For bookings and information, contact 2031 080 319 2823 662 3282. At GWCC, women-owned businesses are our priority. This advertisement is proudly sponsored by EU.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25. Yes! Recharge $25 and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. As part of ongoing stakeholder engagement ahead of the launch of the Integrated Tax Administration System, the Gambia Revenue Authority today gathered together representatives from chambers of commerce and other stakeholders to discuss the benefits and functionalities of the new digital platform. Alusise tells us more.
The Gambia Revenue Authority says the new Integrated Tax Administration System, ITAS, marks a significant transformation in how taxes will be collected and administered in the country once it is operational. Supported by the World Bank under the Public Administration Modernization for Citizen-Centric Service Delivery Project, ITAS will automate key tax processes, including registration, filing, and payment, to enhance transparency, efficiency, and convenience for taxpayers. Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo and Deputy Commissioner General Esa Jalo, respectively, say Revenue House remains committed to innovation and transparency in tax administration. They urge all stakeholders to support the GRA in this transformative journey for the betterment of the country.
The system that we have in place that we are using to do the collection of domestic taxes is called the GAM TaxNet. That is what we are using right now. Why do we want to change it? That's the $1 million question. Because you have a system already and that is working, but you are trying to bring another system. There must be a very good reason why we want to do that. And that is the question today. That's why we are here. We want to change that system because that system is an analog system. It's an old system that we are using. And the system is difficult to interface with other systems that we have. And this day and age, where you have technology playing a greater role in everything that we do, we cannot stay with that system. And that is why we want to introduce the iTax system, which is a web-based system, and it is ready to interface with other systems that we have, like the Asikuda system.
There is growing recognition that the effectiveness of tax administrations cannot only be judged by the amount of revenue mobilized or indicators like revenue to GDP. It is also important to make the tax administration taxpayer focused by ensuring that it provides quality taxpayer services.
Samba Sala, ITAS Project Manager, and Alhaji Jallo, Director of Tax Policy and Revenue at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, said the ITAS will provide a lot of services not available with the current GAM TaxNet system.
This new system will be more interactive with both the taxpayers and tax administrators. We want everybody to be on board before the system is rolled out. And that is from the starting of the implementation up to the rollout. We want everybody to be on board and on the same page.
I wish to commend the leadership of GRA under the able leadership of his Honorable Mr. Commissioner General for his sterling performance. He has been very transformational at GRA. And at this point, I want to register the appreciation of the Minister of Finance for his leadership in transforming the GRA to a regional, emblem of excellence.
The GRA management said digitalization has been a key factor in enabling it to consistently meet its annual revenue collection targets over the past 10 years. A similar sensitization workshop is scheduled to take place tomorrow, Thursday, for taxpayers in the West Coast region. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
In a move to boost agricultural innovation and youth empowerment, the University of the Gambia, in partnership with Cameras Company Limited, has launched a €200,000 cashew fruit product development project. More in this report. The initiative is a significant milestone in efforts to promote value addition and sustainable agro-processing, and is a 40% matching grant funded by the European Union (EU) and the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States (OACPS) and the German Development Agency (GIZ). The consortium partners Cameras and UTG will provide the remaining 60%. According to the partners, the project aims to transform cashew fruits, of which a significant percentage currently go to the waste in the Gambia, into vulnerable consumer products such as candy, juice, jam, disinfectant, vinegar, cashew flour, and more. Beyond product development, the initiative seeks to empower youth and women by building their capacity in the cashew fruit value chain and equipping them with essential skills in sustainable agricultural practices, processing techniques, and entrepreneurship. Speaking at the launch, the CEO of Cameras Company Limited said his journey with cashew fruit processing began in Finland, where he established a cashew fruit juice brand in 2020 after securing a grant from a bank. Through this collaboration, local farmers, particularly women in rural communities, will gain advanced skills in food processing and value addition, enhancing their income earning potential while reducing post-harvest waste. Here is Professor Herbert Robinson, the Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia.
Cashew remains no doubt one of the Gambia's most promising agricultural commodities. Across our rural communities, Cashew cultivation sustains thousands of households and contributes meaningfully to our export portfolio. Yet much of the potential remains untapped, and I think this is why this project is important.
The Dean of the School of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Professor Lamin K. Mfati, emphasized the timeliness of the project, given that the school is undergoing a transformation. Guidance to the beneficiaries.
We have been running only 2 programs, environment and general agriculture. Recently, the School of Agriculture has launched new programs, 6 new programs. Among them is food science and technology. So I would say this Cashew project definitely come at a time when we need it.
Partners express optimism that the Cashew Fruit Initiative will not only promote sustainable development, but also unlock new economic opportunities across the agricultural value chain, empowering Gambians and contributing meaningfully to the nation's socio-economic growth. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Collie. Up next is sports news. The Gambia recorded a win in karate to advance to the round of 16 at the Islamic Games, but was later eliminated due to injury. Emmanuel Mendy defeated Mauritania's Mohamed Gay 9-0 before losing to Omar Alangier after twisting his ankle. Mamadou Gajaga reports from Saudi Arabia.
Emmanuel Mendy won his first bout in an international competition at the Islamic Games in Riyadh in the 75-kilogram category of karate. He defeated Mauritanian Mohamed Gay in a dominant victory by 9 points to 0 to reach the round of 16. After his promising start, Emmanuel Mendy unfortunately twisted his ankle while fighting Omar Al Jinai of the United Arab Emirates. Omar was awarded the points after Emmanuel's failure to recover from his injury and being stretched off. Elsewhere in the Islamic Games, Gambian swimmer Pap D. Jonga, who is based in Abu Dhabi, reacted to his performance in swimming, including in the 50 meters butterfly, where he was leading until the last feat, only to lose. He also spoke about training and not being able to beat his personal best.
When I first stand at the block, I was a little bit nervous, not because it is new to me, but just sharing the stage again with a lot of people from different other countries. So at the start, it was really amazing seeing myself that I was elite, but again, being over too confident to an extent that I wasn't able to give the best that I was hoping to do, but other lucks on next time. So in terms of improvement, I am looking forward on the phase 2 of continuous training, because again, being in a place whereby you're just having to do a job on the side as well as exercise makes it a little bit difficult.
The Gambia delegation of athletes and officials expressed their satisfaction about the organization of the Islamic Games in Riyadh. Abdullah M. Ka, the delegation's chef de mission, expressed optimism, saying he expects at least a podium finish in the track events scheduled from the 17th to the 20th of November, while praising the athletes who competed so far in judo, swimming, and karate.
Well, I think they have done a very good job in terms of the preparation, the pickups from the airport to the athletes' village. I think the accommodation and the feeding for the sporting delegation is excellent. Well, I'm looking for the same results or even better results, but however, for the female part, the defending champion unfortunately is not available due to certain circumstances, and that is Gina Bass. But then I hope that the other female athletes and of course the male athletes will perform remarkably well.
For many fans of the Games, they look forward to with the greatest anticipation. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Congratulations to Emmanuel for defeating Mamadou Gay 9-0. And before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. The Ministry of Higher Education held the inaugural ceremony for the governing boards of the tripartite funds aimed at strengthening tertiary and higher education in the Gambia. Cashew Group CEO Mohamed Jah donated $15 million to the tripartite funds during the Ministry of Higher Education's inaugural ceremony for the governing boards. Gambia's Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Rohijon Manjang, took part in a high-level discussion with world leaders on protein diversification and global collaboration on the sidelines of COP30 in Belém, Brazil. In sports news, the Gambia secured a victory in karate to reach the round of 16 at the Islamic Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but was later eliminated due to an injury. That's all for this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and bye.